was a really big problem for him last year, staying on the floor, staying out of foul trouble. They need him out there. He's a force in the paint, also a rim protector. We'll see, can he stay in this game?
Michigan catches a bit of a break here tonight at Xfinity Center because the students are not in session. Usually a raucous student section, and there's a turnover created by Michigan, which has been an issue for the Wolverines turning the ball over this year.
I like the effort from Terrace Reed. Last year, a guy that you look at him and you think, man, he's got big-time defensive potential. He's been a bit consistent in that area, inconsistent in that area this year. A guy that they're going to need him, especially now that Doug McDaniel's not going to play tonight.
Terrace Reed, body to body with Reese, and Julian Reese clears the rebound.
I think we're going to see a lot of Reed and Kamwa post-ups. They're going to test that Maryland interior.
Michigan searching for answers of what this looks like on the offensive end. Jameer Young got a little arm bar out there. Brian Russell, line one, 2-0 Maryland.
That's a 2,000-plus point scorer right there, and a guy that's shooting 45% from the field on shots off the bounce. He's been getting to the rim. Just a walking bucket, fourth nationally in points per game in the month of December.
A huge volume shooter for Maryland, a team that just has not shot the ball very well this season. Here's Terrace Reed going to work on Reese, and he swatted it away on the back tap out of bounds. And look, the Terps come running after him, showing some energy right out of the gate.
How about, and this is one of those things where effort is contagious. That ball's rolling out of bounds. He goes flying after it. Teammates are coming. Like the energy from Maryland here early. This is a Michigan team that kind of got shell-shocked in that second half at the Palestra.
You saw that displacement there on the replay. Good look at it, and Reed has it taken away. Michigan's been very cavalier with the basketball this year. 13-plus turnovers a game for the Wolverines.
Defensive struggle is so well documented, but it's hard to be a good defense if you're constantly trying to get back off your turnovers. So it's been a struggle. Both teams early on in this game, they are looking to throw this thing inside.
So Terrace Reed Jr. just picked up his first foul. So the question for Juwan Howard is, if he has guys in foul trouble, what in the world does this look like?
I mean, I think Yusuf Kayat could play. I think Cooper Smith could play. If you look at the roster, everyone is in play tonight because you're down Trey Jackson, you're down Doug McDaniel, and you're just short of bodies. And I don't think Juwan Howard will hesitate to put anyone in with the current situation.
J.J. McCarthy?
He does it all, huh?
I mean, you know, Julian Reese goes 0 for 2 at the foul line. They've worked so hard with him on that. A big volume free throw shooter, and just has not made it at the clip they're looking for. He does rebound the heck out of the basketball.
Cross fouls like crazy, too. You look at he and Jameer Young, the way that those two guys get to the line, the three-point shot has been such an issue. Dante Scott with the air ball there, but the free throw line has been their friend.
Kevin Willard feels like they are a better shooting team than they've shot it, but how much better is the question. There's a takeaway, a run out the poster. Dante Scott absolutely throttles the rim.
We've been waiting for an aggressive Dante Scott all year long, and it's starting to come along. 4 of the last 5 games in double figures. There's that press. Penn State really bothered Michigan. That Wolverine lost with their pressure. That's a really long pass, and Dante Scott reading it like a free safety and just hammering it.
And the bench lost its mind. Neither of these teams have won this calendar year as yet, and so some energy early for Maryland in this situation. Losers of 2 straight. Michigan's lost 4 straight. There's Kamwa on a wraparound. Extra pass leading to a drive for Williams, and he gets decked. I mean, just flattened.
But you know what? I just don't think you see Terrence Williams make aggressive drives like that are decisive. When you're making shots from the perimeter, all of a sudden your ability to drive the basketball is just multiplied because the closeouts are different. Now they're running at a guy like Terrence Williams because he's shooting 41% from 3, and now everything opens up towards the rim.
And with Doug McDaniel out, they're going to need something.
No, I think you'll see the pin downs for Williams tonight. We had them when Doug McDaniel was playing. But I think that they're going to have to run more of that. We'll see a lot of Kamwa post-ups, a lot of Terrace Reed post-ups.
It's a big night for Terrence Williams. He's back here near his hometown, Clinton, Maryland. He went to Gonzaga College High School, which is nestled right into a street corner in Washington, D.C., and he has the first points for the Wolverines tonight. Deshaun Harris-Smith, the freshman, up top for Scott. And he got met by Reed, who's already got a foul. Harris-Smith out top, Jahmir Young. Late shot clock, he wants to go. Young off the bounce, down the lane, lost the ball, got it back, and missed.
Really good defensive possession by Michigan right there. Active help defenders. You want to be in. Maryland's got to prove that they can make shots, and on all these drives, you've got to be to the basketball.
This could be something of a grinder here tonight in terms of points scored. Michigan does.
That's fair to say.
Right.
With some of the personnel losses that we've seen here, it could definitely be a grinded out affair.
I mean, Michigan scores 82 points a game, but to your point, the personnel, and now they're running trips to the left, and they end up getting 2 out of it. For Harris-Smith, that was into double Terrapin coverage, and it's 6-2.
You know what? Deshaun Harris-Smith will take it however he can get it. His struggles well documented shooting, but also struggling from 2. Just 21% from inside the arc the last 3. And off the dribble drive, Michigan just discombobulated. He drives that into his own teammate, but effectively for the bucket.
Not great spacing off the catch, they would say. Williams a shot fake. Scott the closeout, got the hand up there, and it spits out to Burnett. Nimari Burnett splashes down a 3 for Michigan.
He's going to have to be more aggressive as well. They're going to need guys to step up and make plays. And off that offensive rebound, Nimari Burnett, no hesitation, just letting it go.
He was just 5 for his last 22 from 3 before that make. Jahmir Young on the gas pedal with the left hand. That's a tough angle, and somehow he got it back.
It's got to be a defensive board. And it's also a play where if you're Nimari Burnett, you're going under that screen or that handoff. You can't get beat. You're going under to cut him off, and you know Jahmir Young wants to get to the rim.
Not a good pass. And if they hurry 5-on-4, Williams, tough pass for Kamwa, and Olivier Kamwa. Great balletic footwork for a Michigan lead.
One of those fast breaks that's going to find the Hall of Fame there. A little bit awkward, but still, Kamwa making a play, and Terrence Williams seeing the floor 5-on-4.
This is one of those games where after the game, somebody, whoever wins, is going to say, we had to have the game. Yes, and we battled through so much. You know, we couldn't score for a stretch, but we won the game. That's what somebody's going to say today, and there's a turnover for Michigan. Very frustrating for Burnett, a team that just had way too much talent that ended up staying there for a while. This Michigan team is certainly not the same Michigan team, but they still had expectations coming into this year.
Well, they also still have talent. I mean, you look at this roster.
It's an offensive foul, by the way. It's an offensive foul against Maryland.
You look at the roster, and I just think that there's good players on this team. Now, how do they fit together? What are their deficiencies? The turnovers have been killer. The defensive rebounding has really made it tough for them, and certainly some of the defensive breakdowns, guarding the basketball, guarding pick and roll. The Penn State guards, I thought, just exploited their one-on-one defense to the max. Kanye Clary and Ace Baldwin are just getting their game on and living at the rim. They're going to have to take this upon themselves and say, man, this is on me to just check my man and get stops.
And try to get to the rim as Reese couldn't clear the rebound himself, but Maryland does have it on the miss by the Wolverines and Burnett. And Llewellyn and Burnett and this Michigan team playing without Doug McDaniel, who is suspended for the next 6 road games. Jonathan Lamoth misses a 3. His last points were on December 12th. And we'll see how deep Maryland can go in this game, as here is Llewellyn off that knee, and he has it swatted by Reese off the backboard.
Just tell Llewellyn, he's been injured so much this year. The knee last year just doesn't have the explosiveness getting into that lane. He's going to have to play some big minutes here tonight, but he certainly is not back to what he was.
You know, Rob, we've seen Maryland go deep off the bench already, trying to test that lack of depth for Michigan. Jamie Kaiser in the ball game for the Terrapins, among others. Burnett misses for 3. Rebound for Kaiser. Points are at a premium so far here in the DMV tonight. Geronimo, tough entry. Reese on the diagonal pass that was low.
Let's see if Terrace Reed can move his feet here. Maryland's just going to spread the floor and let Jameer Young go to work.
They lost Reed for a moment on the kick out. That three won't go. Geronimo 2 for 25 from
and that's why that's good help. You know, if that's a shooter out there, Geronimo has had such struggle shooting the basketball. Michigan, that's just knowing the scouting report and Geronimo's man getting in there on the help defense.
Reed's got to be careful there. He dropped that shoulder. That would have been his second personal foul. Turnover anyway. Look, Michigan does not get a lot of bench minutes in the first place with McDaniel.
No, I mean, they ride their starters, and that's why with McDaniel, leader in the Big Ten in minutes per game, his percentage of minutes played are ridiculous. But you're going to have some guys step up tonight that haven't gotten opportunities. And I think this is where you hear this in pro basketball all the time. Who stayed ready?
Yeah.
Who's been working out? Who's been doing cardio? Who's been getting the extra shots up or playing 2-on-2? That's in play tonight. Who's been doing that for Michigan?
Dante Scott has 2 air balls from 3 tonight.
And Maryland's one of their last 8. And Michigan has not scored in 3 minutes.
Nobody has scored in more than 3 minutes. And there's a grumble behind us.
Grumble's a good. That was the perfect word for the sound of this.
You're sensing a grumble.
Yes.
George Washington III is in the ball game here on the banks of the Potomac for Michigan. Kamwa. Help came and a reach-in foul. Harris Smith didn't like it. Well, if you joined us from the last break when we told you about Michigan's national championship, you've seen as many points as Robbie and I have scored tonight.
Get ready for Super Wild Card Weekend on Fox.
And again, what you look like in January does not mean you're going to look like that in March. It's not.
You take 2 rotation players and one of them being the best player on your team, one of the most talented players on your team. Of course it's going to look a little funky.
Kamwa has the last field goal in this game more than 5 minutes ago. Up top, Kaiser. That one faded, and he saw it the whole way.
Devin Willard's been high on Jamie Kaiser. He thinks that he's coming along in terms of understanding what he is expected to do defensively. From an offensive standpoint, he has seen a great percentage, but he's seen more go down. And finally, Olivier Kamwa, that's his deal. He loves the turnaround jumper. Just gets to his spot and knocks it down over the top of Callum Swanton-Rocker.
2 teams have missed 11 straight field goals before that make for Kamwa, the Tennessee transfer. Harris Smith missed it for 3. Maryland.
That's not a good shot. He's shooting in the 20s from 3. There's 11 on the clock. You can move it and find something better than that.
Williams bumping into Noah Batchelor, who's the one who created that contact and a foul on Batchelor. Look, all you got to do is see the ball go through.
This is a wild stat, but it is a 7-0 Michigan run over the last 5-17. So it is.
I will say
that is an interesting thing. But yes, Olivier Kamwa getting them off the side.
Yeah, it was at 15-10. I had said 5 minutes, about 4 minutes at 15-10 until that Kamwa make at the 11-minute mark without a field goal for both teams. And Terrence Williams misses the free throw. The Big Ten is a rather interesting place right now. If Purdue's lost the other night, Wisconsin looks very good. They saw them yesterday.
Well, their depth is what stands out. A.J. Storr has given them something that they have not had from an athletic 6'7", 6'8" wing since probably Alondo Tucker. They're not the same player, but from an athletic standpoint, that's the type of athlete that A.J. Storr is. Love John Blackwell's game. I mean, all you need to look at is Connor Essegian is on the all-freshman team last year, and this year hardly plays.
Yes.
That's pretty wild. And certainly he has some defensive shortcomings, but his shot making is pretty good.
That is the only remaining unbeaten team in Big Ten play as of today. Kaiser into the backcourt. Got to pick it up. And Dante Scott draws the whistle with Yusuf Kayat bearing down on him. A turnover, Maryland, and a disappointed Kevin Willard and Testudo. Rob, what's it going to take to get more offense? I'm contractually obligated to ask you.
You got to step up and make a shot. And that's been the deal for Maryland for most of this season. You've got to spread that defense with some shot making. And it's just been so hard over the course of this year.
They blitz Kayat, the miss from Will Cheddar.
Even Cheddar shooting 60% from three, and he's 0 for 1 here.
15 for 25 for the year. Young to the rim. He got fouled, dangled on the rim, and a three-point play was a little much to ask, but 2 free throws coming for Young.
I like Jahmir Young just pushing that tempo, making something happen. Basically creating offense in transition. Off that miss, he is just off to the races. And he lives at the foul line. Second in the Big Ten in free throws made. 4th in attempts. Over the last 8 games, he's shooting 8 a game.
And he's at 88%. So high volume and a high make rate as well for Jahmir Young, one of the leading active scorers in all of college basketball, just behind Max Abmas of Texas.
He had the massive scoring game out at UCLA, but then had the flu, sprained an ankle, hasn't been able to practice much, maybe a little bit rusty at Minnesota, had 20 points, but 5 of 17 from the field, had 5 turnovers, but got to the line again. And that's what good players do. You know, when they're not shooting it well, they are finding ways to be productive and stealing points at the free throw line.
Bill Martelli was talking about him at shoot-around today. And as that ball is pinballed around and taken away, and Maryland has a field goal for the first time since 1628 in this first half.
It's going to be so important for Maryland to score enough so they can set this pressure. If you don't score, you can't press. And Michigan, without Doug McDaniel, this could get a little bit hairy.
That's a foul on Kamwa. He didn't need to, and he shoved the shoulder into Harris Smith. It's absolutely a foul.
That's back-to-back possessions where the Maryland pressure just getting to Michigan. Active hands, pressure on the ball. You're right, Jason. Just kind of leans in and a little forearm there, shiver to Deshaun Harris Smith. That's an easy call for the official.
To your point on the press, Kevin Willard said at shoot-around, he said, look, our press rate's the same. We're not going to put it on, really, if we're not making shots.
You can't do it off misses, right? It's very difficult to do that.
More than ever, your basketball knowledge is seeping through tonight. Harris Smith, high-low, and that's exactly how they drew it up. It's like when the quarterback catches his own pass and runs.
And runs for 15 yards.
It's a 6-0 Maryland run. And a near takeaway again. The press really bothering Michigan. Terrace Reed with the stuff on the back end.
And Michigan's going to have to look up the floor, and that's what Jalen Llewellyn did. Maryland's smelling blood in the water a little bit. They're bringing guys up to bring some pressure, and just advancing the ball gets it done for Terrace Reed.
They've had a deluge of points. Scott.
He's been short on every one of them.
And he knew at that time. He was following his shot right away. Reese creates 2 free throws for himself. So good with the body control. And that's on Reed. That's his second.
Yusuf Kayat just going to tap this right back to Deshaun Harris Smith. And that's an interesting basket. And then looking up the floor going to be really important for Michigan. We talked about it earlier, the struggles against Penn State. That run and jump really bothered them. Ace Baldwin is as good as anybody in the country at wrecking havoc with that press.
Okay, so watch Julian Reese here on the free throw. Because we watched him for quite a while today at shoot-around. Kevin Willard has dedicated a lot of time to this, and Reese has struggled from the line.
They're trying to get his hand under the ball more. Sometimes it just like it kind of creeps up. That one looked better, I thought, than the first.
Just in terms of where the hand was?
Yeah, and less of a hitch, too. I mean, he every once in a while, you'll see him, and that hitch is violent.
Pressure again. Kamwa the catch. He whips it ahead for Washington. Michigan has not won since December 16th. Nkamhoua is fouled by Harris Smith, and that's his second personal for Maryland.
Just a simple action. I mean, they hit that elbow, and then Nkamhoua's just ducking right in from the right elbow. He's passed by Will Cheddar, 2 on the ball, and he just throws it up to Olivier Nkamhoua.
And pardon me, that is the first on Harris Smith. There was a foul that I placed on him erroneously.
You can never trust Syracuse indications.
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you.
Can't trust the hearing of Syracuse.
Was the first on Harris Smith. Dante Scott had the other one. For those of you keeping track at home, like my salty broadcast partner, Jahmir Young. Where Phil Martelli said he'll get as deep as you let him during their walk.
And that was the perfect way to describe it. He is getting to the basket, willing himself into that painted area.
Geronimo couldn't get a shot off. Harris Smith with 2, shucks Kai out and scores.
That was pretty good defense by Cheddar right there. He walled up initially. That ball gets kicked out. Deshaun Harris Smith, his struggles, we've talked about him all night shooting it, but aggressive there getting to the rim.
Doctor.
But the way Maryland shoots, there's no reason to not stop every drive. If they start making some, then you can adjust. But if I'm a help defender, I am to the ball and I'm stopping the bounce. That can't happen.
Yeah, they closed down on the 3. He didn't take it. And the rebound for Cheddar and Michigan. Amari Burnett with a blow-by, got to the rim and ties the game.
Like the aggressiveness right there. We've had some struggles scoring it. Amari Burnett, just that little crossover dribble, the burst to the rim, and it just blows by his defender.
Maryland has gone deeper on the bench than is typical for them early on against a very thin Michigan side today. That is one of the worst passes you're going to see.
Well, the teams have combined for 12 turnovers against their 3 assists.
We just had a very good angle at that. That's nothing against Jordan Geronimo.
No, that one sailed on.
It looked a little like they used to. Remember they talked about the old Meadowlands had like a draft for that one side for field goals. As that goes down, and you mentioned it, Will Cheddar has been a great marksman from 3 so far this year.
Michigan just attacking that pressure to score. Everyone's kind of falling asleep. And if you're going to lose somebody, Will Cheddar is not the guy.
You could say he's been zesty from 3 so far. Takeaway. Nkamhoua up ahead, Llewellyn.
Good high hands there by Burnett.
Poking his way in. That was nifty by Amari Burnett.
Well, just crafty. That's a veteran play with the high hands. Then Michigan coming in transition. And just the smart play to show the ball, use the head fake, let the defense commit. There's that Cheddar 3. Nobody fighting. I mean, that is as uncontested of a shot as you will see.
Burnett, the Alabama transfer. Alabama, remember, the team that knocked Maryland out of the NCAA tournament last year in the 2nd round.
We were talking today about how maybe he's been a bit inconsistent defensively, and has this big reputation coming over from Alabama of a really good defender. And when you're playing with the guys that he was last year, the rim protection, the length. I mean, he was on a defensive unit that was top 3 or 4 in the country. So now you come over to Michigan and the defense has not been, just the foundation not there. That certainly affected his defense as well individually.
You know it when you're on a good defense.
No, right? And the expectation is to guard, and not that it's not here, but I mean, they really guarded you last year at Alabama.
Skip into the corner. Kaiser misses.
Those are the types of closeouts you have to have if you're Michigan. Make these guys prove it.
Oh, a splash down for Terrence Williams and Michigan.
So all replays will be looked at the announcer's table here.
Yeah, there you go.
But they will ask for the replays.
That was good teamwork. We both shared it to a different audience, and now we're back after team coverage.
Well done. We've been working together for like 5 years.
With one in between because of a defection.
We'll never forget that.
It's Jahmir Young under 10 to shoot for Maryland. And the travel.
Maryland is just out of sorts. This building is as quiet as you will ever hear at the Xfinity Center. Now, I will say on that trap, the cylinder rule is dead.
Yep.
Which is fine. I think the rule wasn't good anyway, but you don't really see it called it.
There was a coach the other day that was like screaming for it.
He gets trapped.
Here's Llewellyn on the drive. Got to the rim again, and Reese couldn't do anything after the guard got beat.
Nice little hesitation there. Change of pace. I want to see Jalen Llewellyn have success. Anytime you're coming back from a serious knee injury, it's tough physically, but the mental side of it too. You just, until you really test that knee out and know you're good, it can be a tough deal to play through.
You felt it. I mean, psychologically, as Reese drives here and stuffs it for 2 for Maryland to break that 12-0 run. What is it like psychologically when you're dealing with that knee thing?
This sounds so weird, but you need someone to test your knee. Like my first game back, I got smoked. And when I saw that nothing happened, it was like, all right, I'm good to go. And that was it for me. But everybody's different.
Wow, Michigan in transition has created gobs of points here.
Well, they're also attack environments, and that's why they're so used to it. They always see it.
How big is that?
No, I know. It was shocking. We put a lot of air balls.
That is the best piece of analysis, and I know Raf's doing the game later, but that might be the best piece of analysis we get all night.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like I had to compliment you after I cut you off while we were talking about the graphic. Here's Llewellyn down the lane again to the rim. That one fell off for the rebound, Harris Smith. Every Maryland basket has come in the paint. That one was well short to the underside of the goal. Refeed Reese. Okay. Burnett. A long defensive possession for Harris Smith coming out near the midline. Comwell off the juggle with 6. This has been disorganized, and we get a travel.
There was just really nothing going on there for Michigan. And give credit to Maryland, because certainly the one-on-one defense there up to par.
16 turnovers, 16 made field goals.
I think that sums up this game very well.
But you know what? When number one team really struggles to shoot and the other team is playing a couple guys down.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of those slogs where if you're on the floor, and of course that goes in, of course. They're going to review in this game last year in this building. Had a career high 13 rebounds, but you're totally right. Just the work that he's put into his game, you can see it's paid off. He's having the best year of his career and playing with a confidence that we just have not seen in his college career in Ann Arbor.
It kind of the epitome of what you want out of a developmental college basketball.
Yeah, playing their best basketball in their last season. I like the way that Llewellyn's attacking. Terrence Reed just got to grab that and score it.
Yeah, he was trying to
playing patty cake right there. Just grab it.
Harris Smith, the freshman, into the lane, draws the foul, and 2 free throws coming. Look like Namari Burnett, and that would be his second. We'll see who gets it.
That's really where Harris Smith has been at his best this season. Getting to the basket, driving to post, using his size. It's been a struggle. 33 from the field, 18 from 3 on the year. Even the last 3 games, it's just been more of the same. Maybe a little bit worse from 2, actually. 21% from 2. But he's a talented guy. Your freshman year, especially in the COVID era, where you got guys that are 23 and 24 and even 25 still playing college basketball, and you're 18, even if you are a top 30 player, you're playing against guys that are 7 and 8 years older than you in some of these cases. So that curve is going to go back to normal when we empty out the COVID seniors, which is, I think, a year away. Next year would be the last year.
So, but how does that feel? I mean, when you're a younger player against really an adult.
Well, I mean, I just remember as a freshman trying to guard TJ White, just holding on for dear life. You know, it's just like, what am I going to do?
And then 7 years later, when you were a senior, as Williams scores to make it a 12-point game for Michigan.
And I was the DJ White.
I just speak for the audience, Rob, that's all. Young whips it across the lane. That's a beautiful find for Reese.
Nice little two-man game right there. Jahmir Young, so good in pick and roll. And you get Julian Reese rolling to the rim. Good thing's going to happen for Maryland.
Reed stripped. And that's the third on Tarris Reed, Rob.
Active hands. Give credit to Julian Reese. He took all that contact from Reed and still had the active hands, the presence of mind. That two-man action. Jahmir Young coming off the ball screen. You got Reed in, and just that reach was enough to get in front of the play, and that pass is zipped right by you.
And Maryland take advantage. Cheddar comes into the game. Reed is out into the post. Right there, Julian Reese.
You see Kamwa yelling at his teammates. He's saying, I'm front of the post, and there's just nobody there on the backside. Good recognition by Maryland, just throwing it over the top.
We talked about it. Maryland has had foul trouble issues with Reese, but can they exploit Michigan's issues with Reed on the bench very early in the second half?
They're really pressuring Terrence Williams. That pressure release would be just to drive it right by. If Jamie Kaiser wants to heat the ball up, I'd expect Williams to try to get his game on.
Llewellyn, long triple, well short. Jahmir Young thought about pulling up. Turn in the corner, down the lane. Harris Smith scores.
This looks like a different Maryland team. Good timeout by Juwan Howard.
A second half where they figure it out and you get a close finish. That's all. I know I have a reputation for not being taken seriously, but
it proceeds.
It certainly does. Olivier Kamwa against Reese. That's a tough catch there for Burnett, and a tough catch right back for Kamwa, who missed. Neither pass was precise.
No, it wasn't, but the challenge by Reese, he's right there with him, and as Kamwa faces up, it's a contested 12-footer.
Jahmir Young's pull-up, missed it.
He'll take that shot, though. Jahmir Young has been in total control here in the second half.
Oh, my goodness. Long-range pass. Kamwa a little bit too strong. Now a 5-on-4. Harris. Yes, indeed. Right back to him. No. And a rebound foul against Maryland.
You can just see it for Deshaun Harris-Smith. His jump shot is weighing on him so heavily. And for Maryland, you've got numbers. And to not convert there, that's got to be frustrating.
Shouldn't Dante Scott have taken that three? I know he hasn't shot it well.
Yes, he should. You know, you look at the percentages. Deshaun Harris-Smith is 18%. Dante Scott has crawled up to 35. Anytime Scott's open, he needs to shoot the ball. I think he's either the best three-point shooting option or the second best, depending on how you look at Jahmir Young on this team.
Right. We should say also they're without Jahari Long, who is out once again today. They were without him against Minnesota with a back issue.
Cheddar had Deshaun Harris-Smith sealed off. He just didn't make an aggressive move to the basket.
Maryland within 6. Harris-Smith had a steam, walled off by Kamwa. Dante Scott grinding with Burnett down there. Floater wouldn't go. It's tipped out. And Llewellyn in transition for Michigan. Cheddar, hard pass, Burnett.
You saw him just a second late, and the pass was just a second behind. That's why Burnett had to bring it out.
Cheddar clanging into Scott, no call, and 2 for Cheddar.
Letting him play. Cheddar just going at Dante Scott, using the physicality. Scott trying to sell the call, and that's a Michigan bucket.
You like the no call?
I do.
I agree with you. Scott, a little pride at stake.
He needs to get to his right jump hook whenever he can. He's going to that left shoulder there, just splits the double team. Will Tschetter shooting it from 3 on the year, but how about a little bit post action here? A little physicality. Reese has got 7. Dante Scott has 2, and no one else has scored. He's got 3.
I do want to ask you, though, because McDaniel, we don't know what his minutes are going to be like at home, but he will be available. Okay?
You don't think it's going to be the load management?
Well, I don't know.
40?
That's what I want to know, though. If he plays 37 at home and then none on the road, how do you get into any sort of an understanding of what your team is?
Practice hard. I don't know how you can.
But sometimes you have. I mean, it's like the Kyrie thing a couple years ago.
It is a weird situation. It's a unique situation. But I don't know. I mean, if he's playing 40 a game, they're like, dude, it's hard. You got to empty the tank because you're not going on the road for the next game. I don't know. I've never seen this before. So.
Here's the stuff for Olivier Kamwa. And Michigan has an 8-point lead.
It's a great drive and dump off right there. Michigan is, they have done some good things tonight, and you've got to give them credit because it is hard. Down 2 rotation players. You've got to lead on the road. Juwan Howard's got to be thrilled.
Dante Scott buries a 3, and he shot that like Kevin Willard told him, shoot it.
Well, he has to shoot it. He's one of their best shooters, and you can't let the first half impact you here. Now that press paying dividends once again.
It's Julian Reese at the back end. It's a 3-point game.
Just no one comes for the ball. That's a horrible thing to do to your inbounds passer. That time is ticking in his head, and that's a turnover for a touchdown.
Llewellyn has it, blocked by Reese. What a wingspan, and a foul against Michigan.
Dante Scott, a little roll and replace action. He has got to look to put this up. Olivier Kamwa with the short closeout. They're daring him to shoot it. And then no one making themselves available to Terrence Williams. Great play by Julian Reese. Back-to-back great defensive plays by Reese. It's been a little bit up and down. The foul trouble's affected him. The UCLA game, kind of a non-factor. Wasn't great against Purdue. At Minnesota, you mentioned that the foul trouble changed the game for him in the second half.
But when he's in there, he's a great rim protector, offensive rebound-wise as well. That one's taken away by Tschetter, who goes flying out of the floor. Big collision, and taken away by Maryland.
They're going to call it over and back.
It's a backcourt violation. He collected the ball in the front court. No, that's exactly what this game has been, Rob.
I'd love to see that again, because this has to be so hard for the officials to call.
Was he fully in the front court when he had possession is the question.
He is in. He is crossed. Now you've got Kaiser, and we need to see that more.
Yeah, run it longer,
we need to keep seeing Kaiser where he is.
Yeah, the question is, was Kaiser's foot in the front court and the back court at the same time? If so, he never established. And Kamwa knocks down a jumper. They're going to look at that during the break to see if it was a 3. For now, they'll put it as a 2.
Hectic sequence there.
In the corner, that won't go for Kaiser.
I thought Burnett was on. Comer was right. Tim Comer was right there, so he had a better look than us, but he's tightrope in that baseline.
This game has settled back into its chaos. Burnett ended up on the ground. He wants a foul. Run out for Young. He controls the ball. Harris Smith flies into Llewellyn, and a foul call. It's Terrence Williams who took the hit down there, and the second foul on him.
That was like a WWE body slam. I mean, just all the way up, and then the sound of those two hitting the floor. That's going to be a 2.
Yeah, it will be a 2. Wild doesn't even begin to describe what we see.
This is entertaining.
Extremely. Julian Reese on Tschetter. Kick out Scott. Another for Dante Scott.
I don't know why Terrence Williams isn't coming with him. That trap's about to come from the baseline side, but if you're Terrence Williams, You've got to be one pass away and stay connected with Dante Scott. He's just a little behind, and Dante Scott has found the range.
Couple of threes in the last minute and change. Williams to the rim.
Oh,
wow.
That was going in. Oh, my goodness.
That would have been
insane.
The perfect metaphor. Young, no. Again, it ends up high in the air. I mean, we're playing above the rim with the ball right now. Dante Scott wants to go. Trying to discard Washington.
It helped, though. That trap was coming from the baseline.
Harris Smith. Oh, he was leaning. He couldn't get it to go. Rebound fight. And we're going to get a foul against Harris Smith.
That's a frustration foul. He's trying to make up for it. And he misses the shot. He struggled so much from three, and you can just see it.
Describe this play, Rob.
Terrence Williams gets blocked off of his knee and almost in. Dante Scott secures the defensive rebound.
You remember those fast food commercials with Larry Bird, right, and Jordan?
Yes, the horse.
Yeah, off the garage, exactly. Off the cloud, nothing but net.
In the rafters, just picking shots out up there.
Oh my gosh!
If that had gone in, I have never seen a play like that ever. No, high school, college, pro. I wish it had been that.
You know what? I was thinking it. Everyone at home was thinking it, and you said it. Llewellyn, entry feed, Kamwa, slick reverse.
Come off the ball screen, he pulls it in there. You've got Kamwa ducking in, but with that length, the ability to get to the other side and shield that from any shot blocker.
Kaiser knocks it down, 1-point game.
He's just running the baseline. You got a freshman in George Washington III.
But we both know coaches who play 7 routinely.
No, and you can't. I mean, Thad Matta used to do it at Ohio State all the time.
Here we go, 11 and change left, 1-point game. Maryland already has the same amount of points in 8.5 minutes than it did in the first half.
They are trying to pressure Terrence Williams.
Right in his pocket all night. There's Geronimo that time. Kaiser working around the screen with Llewellyn. Kamwa missed the shot. Cheddar down low. No again. Out of bounds to Michigan.
It's a tough play for any defender because you're trying to block your guy out under the rim, and because of the air ball, you're really putting Will Cheddar in the perfect place to grab it. Nice job by sophomore of getting on the offensive glass, getting it to the rim, and then Michigan with multiple efforts on the offensive glass.
Somehow hard Bachelor worked as he came out of the game. Kamwa is clotheslined by Reese.
But a big-time post entry. You got Julian Reese trying to switch sides here, and you see him come into the play, and it's just thrown to the middle of the floor, almost kind of like Reese overruns the play. That ball's coming from the top. You've got to be in a three-quarter position on the top side. He went to the wrong side.
He's on his hip.
Yeah.
Olivier Kamwa. This is the free throw. I'd say the door's creaking open, but the door has been open for both teams for most of the night.
The door has been broken. There's some of them broken open.
1 for 2 for Kamwa. Double figures for him in all but that St. John's game for Olivier Kamwa. He's been very consistent for Juwan Howard, coming from Rick Barnes' program at Tennessee.
He's talented. Can play inside out. Love his turnaround jumper. Can shoot it from 3. Can handle it. Comes from a program that guards like crazy. There's a lot to like about Olivier Kamwa's game. A little 2-3.
See if Maryland can shoot around it or over it. They somehow score. Reese into the post, deep. Missed it short.
That's textbook execution. Get to the short corner, hit the dive man from the high post. That's a great look for Reese.
Foul on Harris Smith, and for Deshaun Harris Smith, his 3rd.
You think about Jalen Llewellyn. He's played 5 games this year. He's played 6 minutes at Penn State, and did not play in the 2 prior against Minnesota and McNeese. And he's been out here. He's given good minutes. He's having to handle the basketball. He's coming off a knee. He's coming off a concussion. Give him a lot of credit for coming out here and being a warrior tonight.
And he's taken 9 shots. He's been a focal part of this offense.
Yep. They needed him to. I mean, with no Doug McDaniel, the shots have got to go somewhere.
Kamwa has 12. Llewellyn has 9 field goal attempts. Make it 10. That won't go. And there's carnage under the basket.
Yeah.
There's a tow truck in the area. Reed's on the ground. If that's Terrace Reed, that's going to be his fourth. They'll get Cheddar. That's his third. So 3 on Cheddar, 3 on Reed.
Boy, that's I don't know about that.
I mean, he did push him, but
I guess.
did it
But
affect
I
the
thought
play?
I thought Terrace Reed kind of got just knocked out of there.
What haven't we seen tonight in College Park? High-low for Dante Scott, and a reach-in foul on Cheddar. That's his fourth. Now what?
Well, Jace Howard he warmed up, but he's not available. Kamwa's going to come back. I mean, you're looking at the front court. It'd have to be Yusuf Kayat if it really got bad.
Kayat, who's played 17 minutes since December, coming into tonight, but that's how deep the bench has to go for Juwan Howard.
And that's where the not having Trey Jackson tonight. So that hurts.
Front end goes down for Dante Scott, who has had a searing second half. 9 points after halftime for him.
This is the Dante Scott that I think Kevin Willard expected to have all year. The guy that can post and get you a bucket, shoots it with confidence from 3, can drive it. He's played a lot of games here in College Park, and they're going to need him. They're going to kind of turn this thing around and get this going back in the right direction towards 500 in league play. He's going to have to be a big part of that.
Maryland last led at 15-13 in the first half.
Look at Kaiser guarding the ball. I like that from the freshman. Kevin Willard talked about it. He's coming along. He was into Damari Burnett right there, making him uncomfortable, and knocks that ball out of bounds. You love the effort.
Physical guy. He had Power 5 football offers. Llewellyn. Nope. Now they have 2 people to sprinkle the air ball chant on.
Middle of this zone is when Maryland's look to attack.
As Geronimo coming from the middle to screen, nothing there. Cooley and Reese.
Now they're matched up. They like to do that. Pretty good defense there by Kamwa.
Kaiser put it right back up, maybe ill-advised.
18 on the shot clock. And that's not the shot that Kevin Willard is looking for.
Kamwa to Reed, and Terrace Reed scored. Yeah, I don't know.
How did Julian Reese not pump that?
We have more questions than answers.
That's so true.
This evening. More zone off the screen from Geronimo. Young, good ball fake into the lane. Reese right on the welcome mat for the tie again.
It's just as simple as that little fake and the look away. Now you move the defense and now you go.
Llewellyn hearing it about his last shot, and they keep it going with Burnett.
They're just keeping it going for everybody.
Yeah, it's all-time airball chant. Kamwa, I mean, you talk about stability and kind of a rock for this team. Kamwa's been.
And anytime he can get to his turnaround, that's what Michigan wants. Any type of post-up, get him to his bread and butter. He's money with that thing.
Scott, another, and the lead for the first time since 15-13 for Maryland.
Maryland's done a good job getting that ball to the middle of the zone and then just playing from there. Sprayed it out, Dante Scott from the right wing.
Comwa to the double. Burnett. Reed on Reese. Terrace Reed. Michigan leads again.
Got to the body of Julian Reese. You knock him back. Reese doesn't want to pick up fouls. It's a strong physical post move from Terrace Reed.
And suddenly, we have an entertaining finish on the horizon. Stop, feed, set. Drills another.
You can't go under, though. They set a flare screen for him, and you got two Michigan defenders that are well under the screener. Dante Scott has caught fire. What a second half. He's now got 18.
4 threes in the second half.
Everything, but he has been the catalyst here to bring Maryland back in the second half.
He started 21 as a freshman even, right? So he came right in and played for Mark Turgeon. Now Michigan trailing by 2. They've led most of this second half. Wolverines have lost 4 straight. They haven't won since December 16th. Llewellyn is fouled, and he'll go to the line looking for his first double-figure game since the beginning of the 2022-2023 season.
How many times has he aggressively attacked the basket and ended up on his back tonight? I mean, he has certainly paid a physical toll. But nice drive there. It's good to see him be aggressive.
It was November 20th, 2022. Jalen Llewellyn had 10 points against Ohio in Ann Arbor. It's been a year, a month, and 22 days with that ACL injury in between. Look, you've experienced it. To watch somebody come back from that, you've got to have a little bit of joy for it.
No, totally. Man, you see that brace on his leg. That thing's no fun to wear. But you're trying to gain confidence in your knee, and it's not easy to do. It takes time and it takes experience.
Young, free run to the rim, and he got rejected by the 10. Kaiser follows it up and can't score, and we're going to get a foul on the rebound against Michigan.
Hope Jameer Young's okay. It's one of those spine tinglers there where you're going up with thoughts of greatness, and oof, hits the floor hard. We have seen every type of play tonight. From the greatness dunk of Dante Scott to that, and everything in between.
And we got 6 and change left.
And it's a 2-point game.
That's a big free throw for Julian Reese.
And his confidence. You know, he certainly, early in the year, was shooting it better from the line, and then kind of found some of those struggles that we've seen over the course of his career. But he's working at it. You know, that's the thing. He is spending time, and how cool that he's not an assistant, it's not a GA, it's the head coach. Kevin Willard is with him in the mornings, and they're working on that shot.
We were talking to Kevin for a wild range shoot around, and he interrupted the conversation to jump in with Julian Reese and just say something about the form and where he was. Shot no good for Burnett. Llewellyn reloads. Comwa. No. Rebound tapped out by Reed and collected by Reese.
Comes the flare for they're going to screen Dante Scott in here. You got to stay tight. Better job there by Comwa of understanding who's the hot hands.
Reese had Williams, and now he skips it outside. Kaiser, 4-3.
That shot looks good. His percentage is not good, but Jamie Kaiser is eventually going to start making a bunch of these. Got a good amount of arc. That's twice now tonight where we've seen him dial it up.
He's not the usual suspect from 3 for Maryland, but Kaiser has 6 in the second half.
23% on the year.
Largest lead tonight for Maryland. Comwa. No, he's missed 2 in a row.
Not isolation here for Michigan. Not great looks either for the Wolverines.
18 points in the second half. It's out of bounds off the deflection by the Wolverines.
Just this inside-out look. Throw the ball into Julian Reese. The skip pass. They're loading up. Late rotation. I just really like the arc that Kaiser puts on that thing.
Maryland's with 4 straight threes now off that make from Kaiser.
That was an unthinkable thought in the first half.
They were 0 for 9 last. Scott, the inferno continues.
He's wheeling and dealing. That's with that off left hand.
Timeout, Juwan Howard. Michigan might be out of gas or out of answers. We'll find out. In there, they say, well, I got to do it myself.
Yeah, no, it's just an unfamiliar role.
Llewellyn for Kamwa, who's taken the last couple shots from Michigan. Now Llewellyn against Young again. It's Terrence Williams going behind the back, carving the lane and scoring much needed.
He's attacked pressure all night long. They continue to bring defenders who are trying to get into him, and that allows that dribble drive. Pretty little move and finishing high off the glass where Julian Reese can't get it.
Reed hip to hip with Jahmir Young.
Nice heads right there. Weak side of his in, taking away the roll, and Ferris Reed impacting the ball handler.
Reese to the dribble against Reed. Good defense from Reed, and the rebound for Kamwa.
Julian Reese changed direction. That was like two glaciers moving right there with Ferris Reed and Reese.
Kamwa working really hard down low. Off the double, cross lane pass, and Reed's going to the free throw line for 2 shots. Just a 53% foul shooter, but when we come back, the Maryland Terrapins were down a dozen, but a surge of emotion from their coach and from Dante Scott has the Terps up a nickel as we head toward the finish line.
At Jersey Mike's, they say
it's just different.
Ferris Reed at the line. Free throw is good.
Pure.
Lead the play-by-play to the professional.
Yes. I love the back iron dead in.
Second one. Beautiful.
That was your time to say pure.
Look, this has not been exactly the prettiest game, but it has been a really fun basketball game.
You know what? You look up, and it's a 3-point game as we get into winning time. This ball needs to be in this man's hands. Let Jahmir Young bring you home for Maryland.
A bone-crushing screen by Reese there on Burnett.
Good rotation by Michigan. That was. That'll create some disadvantaged basketball there.
Scott. Double team comes from Reed. Very well timed by Terrence Reed. And that would have been a violation. It's Michigan ball.
That was an awesome post double. Came again from that bottom side. But Terrence Reed, right where he needs to be, straight up and down, didn't foul. Perfect job.
Late shot clock. Very well done by Juwan Howard in Michigan.
Almost got the switch, and he had to be told by Damari Burnett to go back down there. Post up.
Over Young. There
Why
it
would
is.
you not? And now he's giving him too small after he wanted to shoot threes and be on the perimeter. Well, at least Damari Burnett told him, get inside, use your size.
This game has been a buffet tonight.
It has.
Young. That's a foul against Burnett, not Reed.
Good help defense, too, by Terrence Reed coming over. They're going to get the bump there by Damari Burnett. Boy, it's just funny to me that you see who you got. There's the too small. But it was not instinctive to go inside. You know, it was he had to be told to do it by his point guard.
It's teamwork.
It is. It makes the drink work.
Young got it, swirling it in. Maryland now 8 for 9 from the foul line in the second half. Geronimo comes back. Michigan has not made a 3 in the second half. They are down 3 with 2:20 to go.
Basically just flip-flop with Maryland. Maryland couldn't buy one in the first half, and they're 6 of 10 from 3 here.
We've seen the unthinkable 10 times tonight.
We really have.
Damari Burnett playing on the ball with McDaniel out. And he's fouled by Jahmir Young. of Maryland.
If Como wants that switch, he's got to actually set the screen. He kind of just slipped out, and I think Maryland would have switched that. But if you slip, and now this is going to be a 1-and-1, so it works out anyway. But to get that matchup again, he's got to actually set that screen.
He's 6'9", but he sort of floats and players.
He's got some finesse to him.
Yes.
He's not the most physical player, which is kind of surprising because I'd say Tennessee is as physical as any program in the country.
Burnett, front end of the 1-and-1. No good. Two minutes left. Maryland by 3 after trailing by 12 at halftime. Young back tapped by Burnett. Halfway through the shot clock, only one guy's touched the ball so far. Now Reese into the corner and a travel against Kaiser.
They trapped that screen. They were rotated to take away Julian Reese, and then the scramble out. Jamie Kaiser, that's one where you either, I just think you got to shoot it, honestly. Instead of, you're going to turn it over, you're going to shuffle those feet, get some happy feet out there. You'd be better off just putting that up.
Instead, Michigan will have it, trailing by 3. The turnover number is basically nil here in the second half. Just 2 for each team.
The difference in half minutes.
Out of bounds off of Young.
Dangerously there on that pass.
But this game has been sort of gripping the edge of the cliff with a couple of fingers all night.
Yes.
Fans behind us yelling at Juwan Howard. Did not see his cameo in the West Wing in the area. Williams against Geronimo. Williams, no. Somehow no.
It was a good move, though. That stop and start just left Jordan Geronimo in the dust.
Now Maryland can take it down under a minute in this second half. Julian Reese, 12 points, 12 rebounds for the Terps tonight. Maryland had a couple looks from 3. Harris Smith gave it up. Geronimo doesn't want to take it. Nobody's taking the shot.
Oh, wow.
And they don't get it off.
But you've got 2 guys that are shooting 8. Make that. And he has made that tonight. Now, I get he turns it over. Ask the question again. Where does Michigan go?
Yeah.
I think Como. I think that's where you go, but I'd be okay with Terrence Williams as well.
It's Burnett on the scoop and pushed into next Thursday by Julian Reese.
That's 4th in the Big Ten in blocks coming over and erasing a look at the rim. Burnett thinks he's got a layup, and Julian Reese has other ideas.
Just annihilated. Baseline inbound for Williams. They're going to use that last timeout. It's not in 4 in the second half for Michigan. Inbound for Cheddar.
Nice job by Maryland, just down in that screen and keeping Damari Burnett from coming off.
No handoff for Kamwa. It's Burnett into the lane. Reese got there, and he is fouled. Julian Reese and his long arms affecting Michigan again.
That's the guy you want to foul if you are Michigan. Damari Burnett on the drive, and Julian Reese again. The denials have been so impressive here in the second half. It's a clean block up top. But this is the guy that you want to put at the line if you're Michigan. So you've certainly got the right guy here.
He's just 2 for 6 in the game from the foul line. Cheddar has just fouled out on that foul. And now Reese. The work early in the morning after practice with Kevin Willard now matters in a big way materially in a game.
That was a missed opportunity by Cheddar. If he stood and so Reese was going to shoot and sat down, the crowd might have yelled, sit down while he was shooting.
The distraction is over. The free throw is good.
With the movie trailer voice guy.
It was the right time.
It was.
Maryland by 4. 23.2 to go. And this would be an absolute escape for Kevin Williams.
It really would. But the way the first half went, and there was nothing offensively for them.
Nobody on the foul line for Maryland. Reese goes 2 for 2. That was slick.
And those look good. Like those look like you can make shots with that stroke.
Lead is 5. Williams in a hurry. Williams denied. Reese came flying. Rebound Geronimo. And a foul. And Maryland with 13.8 to go may somehow serve up a victory for the fans who came in the cold tonight.
Terrence Williams knows he's got to go with the time remaining. Geronimo containing the bounce, and you got Reese coming over. That's just good defense. And I give Michigan a lot of credit that they have fought tonight. They don't have a guy who has played major minutes, is top 10 in scoring, top 5 in assists. They fought, but Maryland here in the second half has overcome some real shortcomings offensively in the first and looked like a different team.
Well, you see the magic of when shots go down.
No doubt.
Dante Scott.
And give them credit that they did hang around enough to where they were still able to get back in the game.
20 and a half for Dante Scott. Maryland by 7. Burnett pull-up triggered. No. Rebound Scott. Flare it out for Young, and Maryland will run it out. A comeback for the Terps of 12 at halftime. Leads